so the basics of meditation, we're going to see today what is meditation, what is mindfulness, how these two go together, the benefits of meditation, some of the main types of meditation. We're going to have a meditation challenge if you want to start with this, and a bonus is going to be the handout with the meditation corner, and also a traveling kit. I love that because you can have a little box with your meditation things to travel anywhere you go. You can take it with you and continue your meditation practice. Okay, so here is a great definition of meditation. Meditation is training your brain or your mind to be aware of being aware, paying attention in the present moment, and letting thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. And this is a definition that I gathered over the years from my training and some authors that are American scientists that have studied people in India meditating with brain scanners. So I came up with this definition that I think is very useful. So when we say meditation is the practice of training your mind to be aware of being aware. So this is simply when you are in meditation, some people think that the goal is to put your mind in blank, your no thoughts whatsoever. And that is a very high level of meditation expertise that only a few people, well, I shouldn't say only a few people achieve. Anybody can achieve it, but you need a lot of training and patience, and it also depends on your personality. If you have a more relaxed personality, easygoing, going with the flow, meditation is going to feel easier. But if you are hyperactive or you are a type A personality, all of that is going to be a little more difficult, but never impossible. Okay, so this is for everyone. So what we try to achieve is to bring your awareness, your attention, that you are being aware. This is a way of explaining it. But if this is not very clear, don't worry about it. It's just paying attention to something instead of letting your mind go wild with thoughts and worries and stress. You are aware that you have control over your thoughts, right? So if you start getting a lot of thoughts during meditation, like a shopping list or a worry about something, the practice is simply to bring you back to center and let those thoughts pass without letting you bother you. So we are not even trying to put our mind in blank, because that's going to cause frustration. So that's an approach that worked for me. And I just bring myself back to the center and paying attention to the present moment, keeping that in mind, right? So I'm just going to focus on this moment right now and put aside the past and the immediate future and just being here with my breath. And you can also pay attention to an object. That's when the meditation corner is very helpful. And you have to experiment what works for you. It could be a picture of a teacher that you admire, or a god or goddess, or a picture of a landscape, your favorite place in the world, whatever it is. And sometimes just focusing on that helps us bring the senses to this present moment. Okay, so I'm gonna continue here with, okay, so meditation and mindfulness. So let's see, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally to things as they are. There is so much wisdom in this little phrase right here, so much wisdom. This is from a book that I found. It's called The Mindful Way Through Depression, and it was written by these authors here, three authors. And the last one, Kabat-Zinn, This is a professor in the United States who did the brain scanners with meditation monks in Tibet. So he actually worked with the Dalai Lama and monks. So they wanted to really get into the core of what effects meditation and mindfulness has in the brain. And I'm going to give you the research that suggests the benefits of meditation based on all this research and many more. So mindfulness is the awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment to things as they are. And I always like to quote my boss, Kim Kwong. Many of you know her. She has a very wise saying that she says, it is what it is, right? So sometimes when we cannot find a solution in the moment, she says, it is what it is. And I love it because that is to accept things as they are most of the time, right? Sometimes we have to fight against situations, but if you can let go for this moment, it makes life so much easier. Okay, so we're going to break this definition down in the next slides, and we're going to go piece by piece to see what it is. Okay, so the first part is paying attention. Attention is notice taken of something or someone, something that is considered important for us. So we pay attention to something that we care about usually, and it is different from concentration because concentration can be broken, but attention always remains. And I think this is key. This is very, very important to keep in mind as we start meditating. I'm sure some of you are already meditating and practicing meditation. So this is a good refresher or a good perspective to have to experiment with this. So if you try to concentrate sometimes your attention on something, on a point or on a candlelight or something, you're going to notice that your concentration is going to be broken by anything, right? Your family, kids running in your home, a thunderstorm, a door slamming. So that's going to happen unless you are in a cave in the mountains. And even then, you know, there can be an animal or wind. So just keep in mind that concentration is going to be broken, but your attention always stays here, right? So bring it back without getting frustrated. And that's actually the practice in itself to do that. And then start with things that we don't usually pay attention to. This is a great practice to start bringing more awareness into our life, which is going to help us in our meditation practice, is to start paying attention to everything around us, to the trees, to the sky, the clouds. Even when we are making tea or coffee, you know, pay attention to the sound, the smell, everything, your movements. That is awareness. That is the practice of mindfulness. Being here in this moment, paying attention to what we're doing. And how many of you notice that many times we are driving from one point to another, and you get to your destination, and then you think back and you say, how did I get here? I was lost for the last 20 minutes or 5 minutes. It feels like we don't even know how much time passed, but you know that you were not there, right? How many of you, I cannot see you, but I'm sure pretty much everyone here, that happens a lot. And that is a red flag that you were not in the present. Your mind was somewhere else and you were driving automatically by habit, right? And this is how amazing the brain is, because the brain can drive a car because you know it so well that your mind can fly away for several minutes and you don't know where you were. Okay, so this is how it is. The brain is difficult. And then, so you're going to attend to thoughts, feelings, and emotions or body sensations as long as they don't cause you to be anxious or worried, right? So we want to keep it very simple, very easy. And this is when planning helps. So let's say that you have emotional sensitivity, or you had difficult experiences in the past, and it's very hard for you to sit in meditation because all the thoughts start coming right there, right? When you are alone, when you are in silence. So just let them be. That's a great advice, right? Just don't engage with the emotions. So that is different. We are not going to repress them or suppress them or try to avoid them because that makes them worse. But let's say that you are very sad or depressed because something happened a year ago or a month ago. So those thoughts may come in during meditation when you are alone. It's going to feel very uncomfortable, but the recommendation is to accept that feeling and have compassion with yourself, right? Like a friend who will tell you, it's okay to cry, it's okay to be sad. And you let it go. You don't start hooking with this emotion and this thought and making it a snowball. So that is a wonderful practice to do, and is very healing, very healing. And you are going to be using compassion on yourself. All right. The next portion of the definition is on purpose. If you remember, we said paying attention, on purpose. So on purpose is with intention, right? Consciously pay attention to be in this present moment. And being aware that you have the power of choice, right? You choose, if you choose which thoughts to pay attention to, you choose which emotions to pay attention to, engage them. Imagine that you are at home, right? And our home is our safe haven, our palace, so to speak. And you are at home and somebody knocks on the door. You don't have to go and answer the door, right? You can ignore it if you're busy, or if you are in your meditation, or you can go and look who it is, but you don't have to open the door to every stranger that comes knocking on your door. That would be dangerous, and that is not necessary. So I invite you to apply this analogy to meditation and to your everyday life, right? To practice self-awareness, increase your level of consciousness, your level of presence, all of that. And let me check the chat. Okay, yeah. I think Armando is checking the chat while I'm talking, but thanks guys for writing on the chat.
Yes, I am checking it.
Okay, great, Armando. Thank you so much. Anyway, so that is a great analogy, the door knocking. So think about your thoughts and emotions like that. When an emotion comes, is someone knocking at your door, the door of yourself, of your body and your mind. You don't have to answer right then, and you don't have to open the door. So opening the door would be like engaging with the thought, with the overwhelming emotion, and making it bigger. And some people even open the door and let strangers in, and they offer tea and snacks, right? And they never leave, and you stay there with these strangers. So life is just like that, and your mind and your brain. And all right, so there is a term in psychology called rumination. And these are automatic thoughts that come to our mind, and we let them ruminate there. We let them stay, right? We open the door and the strangers come in our living room and they never leave. And we don't tell them, just leave, leave. This is my home. So that is rumination. And that is something that causes a lot of suffering in people. And mindfulness and meditation helps eliminate rumination. That is actually the immediate effect of meditation. To have control of your thoughts, to know when to open the door or not, or maybe just peek through the eye, but not opening. So you have the control, and rumination can be minimized or even eliminated. Okay, so rumination is letting a thought or problem replay over and over in our mind repetitively think about causes, situational factors, consequences of everything, right? It can be our negative emotional experiences, our problems or perceived problems, all of that. Okay, so I'm supposed to finish this in 30 minutes. I'm gonna try. I can never do it. In the present moment is the next component of the definition of mindfulness. Paying attention, what was the second? On purpose in the present moment. So the present moment is the power of now. I don't know if you guys have read Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is a spiritual teacher. He was born in Germany, but lives in Canada, and he speaks English and Spanish, I think. And he gives a lot of retreats, and thousands of people come to hear him because he explains very well the now, how to be in the present moment. And he wrote a book called The Power of Now, which is amazing. So I recommend it if you are interested in knowing more about all of these. So being in the present is living here and now. The reason this is so important in Eastern philosophies, Eastern teachings, I call them wisdom teachings. And the reason I like to call them that is because all Native American cultures have, hold on guys, let me do something. I'm getting emails from my work and I can hear every time I get them. So let me close that window. Stop share. I'm gonna close my chat. Yes, thanks, Kristen. I'm gonna close it. Okay, my coworkers are cheering for me. Okay, thank you guys. So going back to you, share screen. All right, so we're back. Present. Okay, what else is here? All right, so The Power of Now, this is by Eckhart Tolle, and right here it says, when you are present, when your attention is fully and intensely in the now, being can be felt, but it can never be understood mentally. To regain awareness of being and to abide in that state of feeling realization is enlightenment. Enlightenment is a word that is sparked with a lot of fire. It is sometimes intimidating, right? Like we think I cannot attain enlightenment. That is a mystical experience for people in India. But no, you know, all of us are slowly awakening. That means we are evolving, just like plants evolve and animals evolve. Well, there are different theories about that, but we know that we evolve, right? We know that we grow from when we are babies to toddlers to adolescents to adults, and we gain more wisdom, more experience, and more consciousness, more compassion, more tolerance, more love towards others. So all Native American cultures had these wisdom teachings, not only India, but India is very strong in that, and they still retain their culture. So we can learn so much about it. So Eckhart Tolle refers to the present as being intensely in the now. And that is, he refers to this as truly living is being intensely here, involved in everything you're doing. And I had actually to experience something very difficult during my internship, to be aware that I was not present, right? During my internship, when I started, I had this urgency to finish because of different personal things and health issues that I was having. And that urgency to finish was not allowing me to be in the present and really focusing on learning. So that was such a learning for me, you know, a teaching moment to even when we think we know it all and we are meditation coaches. Wow, it's so hard to be in the present moment because our mind can be very easily distracted with health, worry, distractions, demands of family and relatives and friends. So anything can take us out of center. But when we are in the center, we can accomplish so much. You know, we get this heightened energy and awareness that makes you more productive. So I live that, so I know that is so true. Okay, so next is non-judgmentally is without judgment. So paying attention to the present moment, to things as they are without judgment. So this is like I was saying, that be compassionate with yourself, right? If you have the tendency to forget things, be compassionate, be your best friend, right? Talk to yourself and say, that's okay. You know, I forget things. I'm doing my best and I'm going to try to improve. I'm going to seek help, but no judgment. Like, I'm a failure, you know, I'm no good. I never learn. I always get behind. All of those things are judgments. And so when we are meditating, when we are actually doing the practice of meditation with a mindfulness approach, is to bring those thoughts to the center, let them go, let go of strong emotions at this moment, and not judging yourself if something goes wrong, if you get distracted for a moment. Remember that you can always bring your attention back. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the benefits. Okay, so why meditate? What are the benefits? We hear a lot about meditation and the benefits. So according to research, as you know, research is not always black and white, right? Because it has to do a lot with the way the research is done, the validity of the research, if the research was duplicated in other settings, and all of that. But bottom line, these research that I'm going to share with you is pretty confident, pretty serious, from American universities like Yale, Harvard, Stanford, that are reputable, and we can trust the findings, right? So research suggests that meditation can change the structure of the brain. They actually saw these monks meditating with brain scanners, and then they compare before and after of people that don't meditate and monks meditating for several years. So some of this research followed monks because they are like the experts in meditation for several years. I think it was 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a lot of years. So we can trust that this is pretty much accurate. So they say that they found that it increases the thickness of the cortical area of the brain, the cortex, the thickness, and this is in the around the hippocampus, which helps with learning and memory. So we know that meditation helps with learning, helps with focus and concentration. And as you do it more and more with the years, it increases the thickness of the cortex. And some people call it the gray area or the gray matter. What an amazing finding, right? I think this research sparked a lot of credibility in meditation. And then it can change emotions because it builds skills to manage stress, tolerance, patience, by increasing self-awareness and by not using judgment, right? So it changes emotions. You are in control. You can manage your emotions and your thoughts. And then obviously when you change the structure of the brain, and you become more skillful, you can modify your emotions, heal some trauma, it depends how you do it, and some negative experiences in the past, heal the effect of these by staying in the present and being compassionate and being good to you. And then the behavior changes, obviously, right? Or hopefully. Okay, so I'm gonna skip these because this is all the research, but because you're gonna have a copy of these, I'm not gonna read it to you, so you can read it on your own. But as you can see, this is research from University of California, Yale University, University of Massachusetts. This is where it's not a doctor, it's a professor, Kabat-Zinn, the author of the book that I told you about, The Mindful Way Through Depression. He did research here at this university with his team, very thorough, very serious, very trustworthy. And he says that meditation can reduce general anxiety and social anxiety, among other things. And several studies suggest that meditation can be effective in addiction recovery due to its effects on the self-control regions of the brain. So this is what is so wonderful about meditation, that it makes you the king and the queen of your world, of your own thoughts, of your own mind, of your own mechanisms. And to me, this is what evolution is all about, right? It is up to us if we want to evolve in this life exponentially through these wonderful practices, right? That go directly to the brain, the mind, self-awareness, all of these good stuff. All right, so we're doing good on time, I think. Types of meditation are many, but no worries. I would suggest something to just make it very simple. There are 4 main meditation techniques known in the United States, in America, or the West, right? And that is mindfulness meditation, which is the focus of this presentation, and is being aware in the present moment. Very simple. Then there is movement meditation that is quite popular, where you can also walk, run, do yoga, qigong, or dancing, whatever you love doing. That can bring you into a state of meditation, or they call it a meditative state, or a awareness state. So if that's your thing, do it, right? Some people cannot stay still. It's just frustrating. I know it's like more, but if you try and you cannot, go walking, go hiking, running. This is where athletes and sports people, they call it to be in the zone. When they lose themselves, their mind is in the present, just focusing on the walking, on your steps, or running, or doing yoga. So these techniques are helpful for that, for practicing mindfulness, being in the present. Okay, then there is a mantra meditation, and this is when during meditation you can chant something or say a prayer that you love. And in India it's called mantra. It's the same thing as a prayer, and it's a combination of words or sounds, and helps bring the attention to this moment and calming the senses. So there is nothing weird or super mystical about mantras. It's just a combination of words. And it is believed that some mantras are in Sanskrit, the original ancient language of India, that the combination of these words have a certain effect in the mind. So that's what they practice that. But you can practice anything you want. Then we have transcendental meditation, and this helps you transcend, like the word says, and this means go beyond the surface level of awareness to achieve deeper inner silence. And this is a little more, to me, difficult to understand, but it requires less effort than other types of meditation, because this is going beyond the surface level, right? So you just go in silence and go within, and that is the practice. Okay, so what I recommend is we're going to go over the handout for the meditation corner, and then I will answer questions or take comments and give you my recommendations on how to make it very easy. Okay, Meditation challenge, everybody. I would love to hear from you. Please email us at the email where you register, mysap at mosaicservices.org, and try to meditate if you have never done it. And if you are already a meditator, try these techniques with these approaches that I mentioned and let us know how it's working for you. I want to do some workshops on actually sitting for meditation. Once COVID gets a little more in control, maybe we'll have something in person at Mosaic. But for now, I would love to challenge you to do this challenge, to meditate 5 minutes every night before dinner. Because once we eat dinner, we start burping and full belly, and it's a little more uncomfortable to meditate. So if you have never meditated, that's the challenge, okay? Just 5 minutes every night before dinner. And if you have kids, if you have family, just tell them, I'm taking this challenge to meditate and I need 5 minutes or 10 minutes alone. Don't bother me. Don't come asking questions for 10 minutes. And if you can, right? Because some people have children and they have to be with them all the time. But you can try meditate with them, right? You can use some apps for meditation for children too. Okay, and if you are an experienced meditator, the challenge is to increase the time if you can, right? So let's say that you can meditate for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour every day. So I would love to hear from you, seriously. So please email us and let me know if you have questions or doubts. If you need help, that's my personal email, and I will let you know about group classes, or we also can go to corporations to do a meditation practice or to present on this topic and other meditations. Okay, so question and answer, hold on to that. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna share. Is everybody doing okay? Yes, all right. I'm gonna share the handout and I'm gonna put it on the chat for you guys, the link.
Claudia, I
Yes,
have someone asked if you charge to present. Marianne.
if I charge for presenting,
Yes.
if it's private, yes, but if it's through Mosaic Family Services, no, because we are a nonprofit and I am here presenting with Mosaic Family Services and we get funding from the government. So all our services are free. So it's fine with me, whatever way you want to do it through Mosaic. You're welcome to email and call. And yes, we will do workshops and we do a lot of things. We do a lot of presentations. I will tell you in a moment. Good question. So what am I trying to do? Okay, send you the link here. So I'm going to put a link to Google Drive where you're going to see the handout. Before I do the handout, any questions for now? Okay, no questions for now. All right, or comments? All right, if not, let's do the handout. So if you click on this link, please, and you're gonna see two documents. One,
Claudia?
yes.
Oh, sorry. There's a question here Nancy made. Do you have any literature recommendations for meditation in relation to addiction?
Yes, I think I do. I can send an email if you leave us your email on the chat, if you don't mind, or private. You can private chat to me or Armando with your email, please. And I will send you some literature about meditation and addiction, especially the research that I mentioned. Yeah, that would be interesting. And any books that I can remember. Okay, I don't know from the top of my head, but yes, part of what we do at Mosaic is substance abuse prevention education. And we can also do a presentation about that, about more focus on how meditation and mindfulness can help with addictions based on the research. Okay, actually that's going to be the next Launch and Learn probably. Okay, where are you? Here. Okay, so if you open the link, I'm going to share it anyway here with you. The handout. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
All right. So there is a lot of information here, but I will give you a summary just right now to walk together through these. So meditation is much more than a practice for mind relaxation. It is the practice of going within to connect with the innermost part of your existence. What does this mean? In Eastern philosophy, there is not only a belief, but people who are really, really, like sadhus and seers and sages, these are the people who devote their entire life to going within, to meditate, and to live a very, very simple life. So they may live in a house together or in an ashram as a spiritual place of gathering where they can have bedrooms and food and everything, and they dedicate themselves to that, and with a goal to reaching their true self, which we call consciousness. And they believe that our inner consciousness is connected to the universal consciousness, and this is believed to be what we call God, right? God is an energetic presence, a high power, and some cultures see God as personalized in a person, and that is totally fine. That's what I love about Eastern philosophies, that they say every religion is okay. Every religion is the truth, as long as they don't deviate with some beliefs that are harmful, right? Like killing others or segregating people, obviously. But the core of every religion is finding that connection with God, right? So meditation helps us find that connection. Once you pass all the obstacles through these techniques, right, of being distracted, being judgmental, getting overwhelmed by emotions and thoughts, once you have all of that under control, you can connect to your innermost part of yourself, of your consciousness. And that is the divine part of ourselves as human beings. And Native Americans also believe that. I know Armando has a lot of connections with a Native American culture, and his ancestors, as well as many Latinas have their ancestors from Native American cultures, and they did exactly the same. They prayed to the rivers, to the trees, to the moon, to the soul, to the sun, and they considered them gods, not because they were naive, but because they consider them having a divine component, right? A sacred component that is the core of every being and everything in the world. So that's what meditation helps us attain at some point. And then a consistent meditation practice changes the chemistry and composition of our brain. So not only helps us connect with a higher awareness, a higher intelligence, but it also makes us superhuman. Yeah, there is a spiritual teacher. His name is Sadhguru, and he's from India, but he has an ashram in Tennessee, here in the US, very famous. And he says that we are not trying to be superhumans. Being human is super. Yeah, and I love that because it's so cute, but it is true. And what he's saying is that you don't need to develop these supernatural abilities and all that. Very simplified, being a human being is already super, because we have so much potential for evolving and being peaceful and compassionate and tolerant with others and evolving into better societies and all of that. Okay. Consistent meditation practice changes the chemistry of the brain. and the composition, and it helps us break negative old habits and harmful thinking patterns. Meditation is the way to elevate our consciousness and achieve spiritual refinement. It's another way of saying evolving, becoming better. A formal meditation practice is a personal journey in the sense that you have to find out what works for you. You have to explore different techniques, different methods, maybe sitting cross-legged, maybe sitting on a chair, on a couch, maybe walking in nature, okay? And so let's go ahead and do the meditation corner, okay? So what do you need to have a meditation space at home? Okay, so you are gonna have a small table. I like it low, so you can sit on the floor and you have your things at eye level, okay? If you don't like sitting on the floor, if it's hard for you or you have health issues or body aches or something, no worries. You can do a regular table in a little corner of your house, a living room, your room, whatever, and a chair or a comfortable chair or couch. If you are gonna sit on the floor, you can buy a meditation cushion. I have two that I got online, and just try to find those cushions that are 16 inches from the floor. So they are like this. And what this does is that it's gonna raise your spine from the floor, and you're gonna last more in meditation. So you can cross your legs and your knees are gonna touch the floor, because you're gonna sit on the edge of the cushion. So you come to the edge of the cushion and your knees touch the floor, or almost touch the floor if you're petite like me. And that is very comfortable. That is, in my experience, it helps me to double the time of my meditation, because sometimes sitting on the floor is very hard and we get cramps or our legs go dormant and they start tingling, and that is very distracting and painful. So we try to avoid that. And the way we try to avoid those body pains is through yoga. So a lot of people think that yoga is the thing, and it is great. But in Eastern philosophies, yoga is the first stage to meditation. So you do yoga since you are little to train your bones and your muscles to be strong and flexible, so you can sit on the floor for meditation as long as you need to. So that is the real objective of meditation in the traditional texts of India. Okay, so the table I recommend to be made of natural materials, wood, it can be a basket, it can be glass, excuse me, okay, because that brings more energy into the ambience. Okay, so now if you are visual, excuse me, if you are visual, you can put a picture of God or whatever your religion, Jesus, Allah, whatever inspires you to connect with your innermost aspect. It can be a picture of a landscape, like I said, wherever you want. And I have a meditation altar, India style, and I have a lot of pictures. You will think I'm crazy if you see it, but I have pictures of Gandhi, of Martin Luther King, of Malcolm, of Nelson Mandela, of spiritual teachers from India, Swami Vivekananda, my spiritual teacher from India, Magyan. So the reason I have them is because they represent to me something, right? Like Martin Luther King for me represents the struggle of the African American population, and I just have a feeling for it. It's like, what an amazing man, how much he fought for evolution, for compassion, for tolerance. So I meditate for that, right? For increasing my good energy, my connection with others, with nature. So these people represent that for me. So they inspire me. So I have them there in front of me. So when I sit for meditation, I say, hello, and Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi and others. So that's just an idea. Okay, candles are not necessary, but suggested for ambience. And it can be a tea candle in tea holders and make it nice, It's like this is your space for you and for your spiritual evolution, for your growth, for whatever is your goal, for your mental health. If you have a lot of emotionality or struggles with your mind and your thoughts on emotions, when you set up your table, ask God or ask this higher energy, whatever you believe in, or life, ask life to help you overcome these things. So you're going to offer your meditation practice not only for growing your brain matter and becoming healthier, but also to a higher power, a higher level. So it's kind of like a surrender, right? Like, okay, I cannot control many things in my life, so I'm going to offer them to life to help me. That's an approach that is very useful. It has helped a lot of people. So a candle, it makes it very nice, very cozy. Okay, you can have a mala and do a mantra. So a mala is, I should show you, hold on. Okay, I'm back. A mala is so interesting because if you are from the Christian religion, it's called rosario, and it looks like this, right? But I don't know if you can see it, but the rosary has a cross on the end, and the mala is from Eastern philosophies, and it has nothing on the end. Sometimes it has this tassel just for visual, but these are little beads, and they can be of wood, of sandalwood and crystals. This is quartz, and it's supposed to conduct good energy and healing. So you can go as deep as you want, but this is me. This is my personal practice. And you can go around these and do a mantra. So you just go through the beads and say whatever you want to say. You can say, I love myself. I love myself. Just don't go crazy on selfish prayers. Or you can say, I'm praying for the health of my child. I'm praying for the health of my child. And you just go one by one. And what that does is simply to help you concentrate and calm your mind and your body, and just keep count of how many, maybe you want to keep count of how many mantras you say or prayers, for like a look at it like an athlete. If you really want to get serious about these practices and experiment for yourself, if they work for you, for your concentration and everything, you can keep count and increase the number. So you can do a round every day or 2 rounds to the mantra every day, whatever. Okay. So I don't know if this question is in your mind, but I asked this question many years ago. How many rounds people do in India, like very, very dedicated, like the sages and sadhus? Well, sometimes they do 11 rounds. 11 takes a while. Depends how fast they go. But 11 is considered a divine number, so it helps with your evolution. Anyway, so now also incense is optional, but it's nice if you have no allergies. Incense is oils prepared in a stick, rolled, and you burn. You know what incense is. You burn it and it smells delicious. And there is a reason for these. Okay, so incense in India is considered symbolizes that God is everywhere. So when you burn the incense, you see the smoke going everywhere in the room. And that is just representing visually that the divine energy, the higher power, the goddess, whatever, the God, whatever you want to call it, is everywhere in the world, in the universe. Okay, and now the traveling kit, okay, is the same items as listed here, except the table. So you're gonna have a little box of a natural material. I have a wooden box, a small one, that you can put in your backpack or in your suitcase when you travel. and you're going to put everything that fits in there. You're going to put small pictures, not a meditation cushion. You're going to have to skip that. You can bring your mala, a mantra. You can write it on paper or ask a spiritual teacher to give you a traditional mantra from the East, from India. It has to be a very advanced spiritual teacher that is actually able to give you a mantra, because it has to be a combination of words that work for you. And then you can have little incense cones and burn them with a little tray and put all that in your box. Also, if you are into healing practices or crystals or medicinal herbs or things like that, you can do all of that. Yeah, you just make it very nice and beautiful for you. It's your thing. And the more you touch it, the more you make it beautiful for you, the more it's going to have an effect in your mind and in your life and in your heart, because you're going to connect with it. So let's say that you love lavender essence, so you can have a little lavender oil thing inside and use it during your meditation, and it's calming and relaxing, and you're going to love it. Okay. And so here it is for the kit, the small box, the pictures of your favorite deity or landscape or place or whatever. Also, you can get, for example, let's say that you are from Canada and you were born near a river and it reminds you to your grandparents, your ancestors. You can get a little glass jar with a cork and get water from there and put it in your traveling kit, and you can meditate on your ancestors, on the purity of this river, the water. Just be creative. Anything that works for you. Okay, so you will read these. This is for you. You can save it and print it for you. You will see how a lot of religions use very, very similar things. And then you can get the incense and the incense holder, the tea candle, and a lighter in the box if you want to bring the lighting with you. And here I explain more about the mala for prayer, which I just did now with this thing that I use. And you can also have the calming essential oils. Here I put a list of suggested aromatherapy oils that are very calming to the mind, like lavender, chamomile, ylang ylang, cedarwood, frankincense, patchouli, or sandalwood. And the crystals I also mentioned. That's an entirely different topic, but you don't have to. It's just a suggestion. Okay, and then it's 12 o'clock. I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to say that the next pages are for you to read if you want to know a little more about what is meditation, the rewards of meditation, how to meditate, how to think about it, like going into relaxation stage and letting yourself slowly go into more concentration, how to eliminate excessive thoughts right here. I tell you how to. Suggestions that have worked for me that I learned in India. And that's about me. So I just ask you just to keep that, because I put this together. If you want to share it with anybody else, you are welcome to. Okay, so that's it. And now we are open for questions or comments if you have any. Don't be shy. Feel free to open your mic and just ask or raise your hand. Or questions from the chat. How many people here already meditate a little bit or are trying to? Yes? Okay, one. Armando? Okay.
Several. Yeah, several people. Several people raised their hand.
Okay, cool.
Yes. There's no
Wonderful.
questions. A lot of people saying thank you, Claudia. Yes, thank you. Very important information. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everybody. Always you can email us if you have more questions later. Thank you for your attention. I hope this is very helpful, inspiring, or inspirational, and it helps you and your mental health. We all have a health to take care of in our mind, and helps your clients and your families. Okay, so feel free to just leave. Oh, the survey. Oh, Armando, did you remember?
Yes, I'll put it up for some reason it was asking for a permission. So I told everyone that we would email them a
Wonderful.
working link.
Wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. I'm so glad you're here,
Okay.
Armando. See how I need you?
Yes, we do. Teamwork.
Yeah.
Good to see everyone. Thank you. Great job. Thank
Okay.
you. All
All
right.
right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Armando.
We'll see you, Claudia.
Okay. Bye-bye.